Okay, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? Good to see you. I know most of everybody, but get to know these two young men a little bit better. My name is Joe Carmouche. I'm a native Houstonian, born and raised. Um, Attended Cashman High School, played in Cashman State Band under the direction of Conrad Johnson. Then he retired, then played Sylvester Blunt. I could tell you 1,000 stories of all the great things we did during that time. We traveled the United States, played so many festivals. It was a great time, a great learning experience. Also, I'm the product of another workshop similar to this one that was formulated in the 1970s called the Summer Jazz Workshop, which was co-founded by our founder, Conrad Johnson, along with Bubba Thomas. I attended that workshop prior to ending high school, and then another summer. Found it to be very beneficial for me. I'm a professional musician. My instrument is guitar. I've been playing for, let me see now, over 50 years. Wow. I've been playing professionally I started the summer of '79 as a student. Playing with Bubba Thomas and the Lightning when I was 16 years old. We did a summer series, some concerts with Kurt Whalen, Arnett Cobb, and I was just 16. So I started playing when I was 16, and that was in 1979. So what is that? Is that 46 years? 79 to 225, is that 46? What my math people? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody. All right. Okay, so that's how long I've been around. Another thing about me, I went to school, went to college, University of Texas, I graduated from Cashmere, and I also attended the University of Houston downtown. I studied criminal justice. I was a police officer for Houston Police Department for 21 years. And after retiring, I had a jazz club downtown from about, as was already mentioned yesterday, the first event I did was in 2007. It was right before I actually had my doors open. I just got my license and built everything out. We were planning for our grand opening, and I believe Conrad's birthday is in November, right? We were celebrating his 92nd birthday, I believe it was. 92nd. He was born in 15?
He was born in 15.
And that was in 2007. So we were celebrating his 92nd birthday in November of 2007. And the first event I had was Conrad's birthday at my club. It was called Legends Jazz Cafe. I ran the club for about 3 years. I had fun, but I didn't want to be in the club business anymore. So after that, I was offered a job at HISD as a music teacher. Well, I taught at a school called McGregor Elementary, which is on the branch in the Museum District, 3rd Ward, 77004. I taught there for 12 years. And then after the pandemic hit and all that, I thought I had enough, and I so-called retired. And but like 3 weeks later, I got a call from a friend of mine who the director of admissions at a school called St. John's the 23rd College Preparatory. And he said, "Hey, are you still teaching guitar?" I said, "I just retired, man." He says, "Well, we have a guitar pro. We need somebody to guitar 1 and 2. We need a teacher. We have a great campus. We're in Katy. Come check it out." Well, it sounded good. Katy was closer to my home. I live in Cypress. So I went, great school, great campus, met the principal, got the job like the same day, and I've been there 5 years. So I've been in education now for 17 years. And when I was your age, I did not have it on my list of things to do to teach music. I just wanted to play and be a jazz guitarist and go to New York and play in the jazz clubs. That was my 16, 17-year-old self. And I know today I'm supposed to talk about the music business and professionalism. So we're going to get to that, but we have to start from where we are now. And I have to tell you my story. So I don't know what your goals are and ambitions, but I hope to find that out soon. But I remember my mom telling me this. I remember my mom was the one, she actually started me with guitar lessons. I picked up a guitar and started playing on my own by ear. I was doing okay. But she said, "Okay, you playing, but you don't know how to read music, you don't know if you're using the right fingers and technique, and she knew enough about that because I didn't know it at the time, that she studied piano as a kid. Because back in the day, Miss Caraway and Miss Anami might know this, remember, it was a thing to have your daughter take piano lessons. Some people did that, that was a thing. If you're gonna have fine arts or, you know, get that type of training environment, they would take piano lessons. They'd go study piano with somebody. My mom didn't like it, but she knew that was about reading music, and she knew enough. She knew that her son didn't do it because 10 years old, but she ain't took him to play, to no lessons, and he hadn't studied. So she said, you have to take lessons and learn how to read music. She did tell me this, though. She said, if you learn to read music, you can play any kind of music you want. He said, I want you to be, and she used the term, and I don't want to misquote it, but it was something like bootleg musician or blues musician just playing the blues on the corner or just playing blues in the club, just not to do one thing. He said, if you learn how to read music, you can play classical, you can play jazz, you can play R&B and blues if you want to, but if you can read music, you can play anything. So she started me with lessons, and that became the foundation of my music education. I had a great teacher. So fast forward, I never wanted to teach music, y'all. So we're going to talk about professionalism in music business. So we're going to talk about those careers. But I never wanted to do it, but here it is. I've been doing it for, what did I say, 12 and 4, going to my 5th year, so going on 17 straight years since I retired from the Houston Police Department. Okay, so this is what I really want to do. I want to get to know you too. I don't know. What's your name?
My name's Alan.
Alan? Is that A-L-A or A-L-L-E-N?
A-L-O-E-N.
Okay. Alan, what school do you go to?
Jack Yates.
Yates.
Well, I just graduated from Yates.
Wait a minute now. Congratulations. Where you decided where you're going to college? I know you.
Yeah, University of North Texas.
Oh, man.
And let them know where you, Summa College?
I actually attended the summer jazz workshop last week ago, actually. I did that, my final.
I'll put NTSU up there. That's the way I remember. That's what it was. That's why I wanted to go to school. I just missed it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Alan, what's your last name?
Garrett.
Garrett?
Yeah, Garrett.
All right. All right. Summer Jazz Workshop as well. Okay. So you know Mr. Green, Al Campbell. Those are my friends. I worked at the Summer Jazz Workshop in 2009 and 10. What did I teach? I taught the same thing, music business.
Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
Ali.
Huh?
Ali.
Ali, like Muhammad?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. That's a good name, Ali. All right, Ali. Alan and Ali.
In fact, I think you just got his name. That's his last name.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad.
His last name is Muhammad?
Yeah.
How about that? I got a story about that. That's like my second daddy. He didn't know it though. He and my dad were born the same year, they died the same age.
Okay.
My dad introduced me to Cassius Clay.
Yeah.
Do you know who Cassius Clay is? Who was Cassius Clay? Who was Cassius Clay? All right, you better know that. Your name, that's your namesake, that's right. So you know how long ago that was. I was a little boy and he was Cassius Clay. Okay, Ali, what school?
Sellers Academy.
I'm sorry?
Sellers Academy.
Sellers?
Sellers.
Spell it for me.
A-C-C-E-L-U-S.
A-C-C-E-L-U-S? Are you, is that right? A-C-C-E-L-U-S, did you say? Okay. Academy, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how are you classified?
Going to the 12th.
Okay, you're a senior. All right. Okay. All right, I just want to get to know you guys. All right. I know Gerard and Jeremiah. I've been knowing them since they were quite, this is my information. Okay? All right, so, let's get started with, I made some notes. I got something for you, Artie. We're going to talk about this.
Okay.
The year after I My first year I thought it was a bubble, I decided to do my own camp. And this is one of my flyers. I want you to take a look at what we did. I did it a few years while my school hosted it, and we had kids coming from everywhere. The reason I brought that because that's another aspect. Okay, so what I want to talk about first, and you guys are feel free to take notes if you want to. You can do that in your phone devices. Of course, they're not going to be tested, but there's some points and some things that I'm going to highlight that you should retain. Music business basics. That's what we're going to talk about first. Just music business basics. And I say by basics, just the basic stuff that you're going to need if you're talking about a career in music. First of all, let's define for the purpose of the class, what would be a career in music? What would be the first thing coming to your mind that you would do if you want to have a career in music? Ali, what would you think?
I guess perform.
Perform, of course. Number one, perform.
I need hope.
Thank you. 'Cause I was going to be looking for it. Let's put that here. Performance. Would that be number one to you? Would that be like the number one thing?
Yes.
What about you, Al? Would that be the number one thing to you?
I'll say you first have to come up with like a band, like make a band.
I know, but would performance be, as a career, a music career, be like the number one choice that you would have in mind?
Yeah,
What would be?
make that band, like make that, I'll say like a band, getting people for it too. I'll say that's the first thing.
I know, but your end result in that band, you're going to be a performer. So, like as a career, would you want to be a performer as opposed to Jeremiah? What else would it be? If you huh?
Like be like a producer,
A producer?
and then like the business side of like a record label, owning a record label.
Okay, that's one aspect. So you could be a producer, a performer.
Sound engineer?
I should have probably said performer. I said performance. That is, let's use the noun. Performer. Let's do that. That's the career. Performer, producer. What's another one?
Sound engineer.
Sound engineer. Joel, you got one?
Maybe like a composer.
Okay. Let me ask you this. That is listed as one. Would a composer necessarily be a musician? Would a composer have performed anything? We'll put composer. We'll put composer.
Are you like looking for careers?
Careers. Yeah.
That are involved?
Y'all missing one.
Like you could be like an A&R person, that's why you like goes and recruits out of town. You find talent and then you go and recruit it.
Yeah. And that's not so big no more. That's not kind of old school. They don't do that too much. Ain't too many record deals. Somebody I'm missing one is really Joel. Come on. Huh? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now let's do this. Let me put it where you can see it. Can y'all see that? Can you see that? Educator. All right. Which one you think that you see more or gets more work out of these? Out of these, just look at these. These are not the only ones, but which one do you think? Educator? Okay. How many schools have music programs, band programs? Okay. How many have more than one music teacher? Okay. How many musicians have you seen in bands playing around at the Grammys? How many musicians and singers?
Maybe 10 people at that.
No, but how many did you see? How many Mary J. Blige's and Beyonce's and
Oh, one.
Let me rephrase that. Okay, when you listen to records, go to concerts, you see the awards, do you see more performers or do you see more educators? Okay. So what do you think more jobs are for musicians? Do you think there are more jobs in education or performance? Mrs. Brown, what do you think? Okay. There's just more jobs here, y'all. This is what it's all about. They're teaching you to get here. But as Ms. Brown can tell you, there's not a lot of jobs. She and I are both lucky to still have one. I think our reputation is what we start with magnet programs. How many schools have a magnet program? How many? Didn't y'all go to HSPV? Okay. Well, how many of y'all went to what? Parker? What's Meyerland? Used to be called Johnston. It's Meyerland now. McGregor Elementary. Okay.
Yates, it's like not magnet program.
Music though? I don't think so. Yates, music?
That's how.
I thought it was radio and communications.
Yeah, that's the radio.
Yeah, but like most of the people who came in, I know my band recruited more people for this upcoming year, so they also done the magnet program for that too.
They have a magnet program at Yates for music?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Yates is a big school. Yeah, well, so my point being, I would say performance is be number one because the composer is writing songs for the performer, the A&R person is recruiting, the producer is producing this person, the engineers are doing the sound for this person, the educator is teaching you to be here. I would say number two would be here, because right here as a composer, if ain't nobody taking your songs, you ain't making no money. I said ain't, and that's exactly what I mean. That means you broke. You're not making any money. But if you happen to get people writing your songs like Babyface and Pharrell, the Beatles,
I would say producers.
right?
I would say producers be number two.
Yeah. The writers, they're getting that royalty check from the publishing. Okay? Producers make the money too. But we'll get into that. It's the publishing and the writers that make all the money. That's why, you know, John Lennon can sit back, not John Lennon, I'm sorry, Paul McCartney. You don't have to sing another song. Elton John. Dolly Parton wrote one song, and it was in a movie called The Bodyguard. And Whitney Houston sang it. It was a bigger hit than any of her stuff ever put together. She still made millions off of a song called I'll Always Love You. So the publisher, when you get your song as a composer, you write a song and it's used in a commercial, on a TV show, a jingle, like for a commercial, a jingle, or a TV show theme song, or in a movie. And if it's played on the radio, of course, then that's what the publishing company starts cutting those big checks. But anyway, I would say here, this is what I've done mostly in here. Now, how much time I got? Okay. I do have to mention this. Performer, educator. How do we get to this? We know how we have to get to this. We need a certain amount of education and finding a job where we apply and win that job. Okay? If you want to teach, then there's a route there. In all things, I would say, get your education, try to get your degree, maybe even try to get a master's, but you're going to need it to compete in today's society, especially right here. Okay? So, my thing has been here and here, and I've done this. I've composed some songs, but I've also did the, somebody said record, he said record label, or I had my own record label, and I did like 3 CDs. Back when CDs were popular, we were making money with CDs. Now everything is digital. You have to go to iTunes, Spotify, and all that, and download it for 99 cents.
You have to listen to touring, like stage touring, like being a runner for people, like being like a roadie and also being a stage tech, like
Yeah.
auditioning and stuff.
Yeah. Roadie. Yeah, I don't want you to be no roadie, Jeremiah. You're in your second year at JSU. We don't want nobody. Roadie, okay, look. I don't mean to talk about it, but that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of labor. It's labor intensive. Being on that road, that's a whole other story. You're exposed to a lot of stuff. It may sound fun, maybe you get young people into it, but you gotta really be smart not to get caught up in other things that go on in the music business. Okay?
What's that supposed to mean?
Huh?
What's that supposed to mean?
What's that supposed to mean? Drugs, alcohol, you know, addiction. Okay? Managing the money. There's musicians like that have a hard time managing their money. So, without further ado, let's get into the business aspects of it. Let's say you do want to be a professional performing musician. One of the first things you have to do is be prepared. You have to be ready. And how are you going to do that? Well, what instrument do you play?
Tenor sax.
Tenor sax. Okay, so saxophone. You have to do a lot of practice. Practice, learning all your theory, your scales, your chords, chord progressions. You're going to have to develop a certain amount of repertoire if you're going to play in a band. Say if you're going to be in a jazz band that plays at Emmett's or at wherever else, you're going to have a certain amount of repertoire, certain songs. You know what do we mean by repertoire?
Certain songs that you're playing. Certain songs that you're playing for.
Yeah, a list of songs that you play. Jawad, you know what we mean by repertoire. So we talk about standards. The saxophone, you saxophonists, when you first start, you start learning songs like maybe Autumn Leaves, Blue Bossa, and things like that. And of course, Anami's favorite, Mr. Magic. Sugar, Red Clay, All the Things You Are. You know, songs like that. And then you may go to jam sessions. And you're just developing your skill sets over time, okay? And then at some point, you say, okay, I'm ready to, maybe you get picked up in a band, and that band is performing. Or maybe you start your own band. But there's going to be a point of time where after you practice, you're going to get with a band, either your own band or somebody else's band, you're going to have rehearsals. And there's a difference between practice and rehearsal. What's the difference?
During practice, you work on like what you need to work on, like mistakes that you are constantly making, and things that you need to improve on. During like rehearsals, like where the whole group comes together to play the song to make sure it's right.
Exactly. Exactly. So practice, if your instructor gives you 3 songs to learn, you're going to practice at home, or, you know, but when it comes time to rehearsal, you're rehearsing with the band. You should know your parts a lot better. You shouldn't be just learning it at practice. And so you're playing in my band, and I give you a list of 3 or 4 songs to learn for the next show. And I'm going to give it to you maybe 2 weeks out. I might not give you more than 2 songs because we're adding to our repertoire. Because you already know like 20 songs. Okay, so we're going to add something new. So I'll send you, I'll send Ali 2 songs. And I'll say, hey, listen to this. We're going to play Wine Light by Grover Washington and Sugar by Stanley Turner. Listen to those versions. And what we'll do, we come to rehearsal and sound check, we'll run through them. But I would give them to you like 2 weeks ahead of time. And you listen to it. So that then you practice that. And we come there, you should be ready. And the rehearsal may be just something we're going through a sound check. We may not have time to have a whole formal rehearsal. So, because we're just adding songs to our repertoire. We already have like 20 songs in our repertoire. And so what I'll do is I'll send it out to them, you know, a week to 10. If it's one tune, I might do a week out. Especially I have seasoned musicians with me. I know they may have heard it. If it's an original song, they have never heard my original song. They have no clue about the rhythm, the melody. They haven't been programmed. See, the cover tunes, we've been programmed to hear it because we hear it on the radio, on other formats that we've heard over the years. So, rehearsal is when we get together. So my band, sometimes we have a big show, a theme show, we'll have 1 or 2 rehearsals with everybody. And everybody needs to come ready, prepared. It's nothing worse than having somebody that didn't listen to it and struggling with the parts, talking and discussing it. That's unprofessional. It's very unprofessional. Another thing, we have to have our equipment and instruments in a good repair, working order, okay? So, for me, I have a guitar, I have an amp, I have cables, sometimes effects. All that stuff gotta be working right. You don't hear feedback and distortion and oh, my guitar's out. My string broke because they were already 2 years old because I didn't take care of my strings. I didn't have a backup guitar. So you have to have your instruments in good repair. As a saxophone, as a tenor, do you play soprano as well?
No, I never played soprano.
Did you play tenor?
No, wait, what do you mean?
What's the sax you play, tenor or alto?
Tenor. I play tenor.
Tenor,
He
okay.
plays
You,
alto.
you never tried soprano?
No, I want to.
I think the finger's the same, right? Is that
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
As ever.
So if you play tenor, you have your tenor with you as well. You play which one?
Alto.
Alto, okay. All right, so practice is what we're doing on. Develop repertoire, that's the songs that we know on our fingers that we don't have to read. And as a solo, the saxophone is like the most popular jazz instrument right now. So you have to be ready to play those changes. You have to already know that. Rehearsal, what you do with the band, and just maintaining your equipment is in good working order so that you're sounding, looking professional. The next thing, this is really important to me, presentation and attire. Presentation and attire. If I come in here today, and this is what I dress normally for regular business or going to church, I don't necessarily wear a tie. Sometimes it's just a little cooler look. But this is how I dress, okay? I don't dress like this in school necessarily, but our required attire is a button-down shirt with slacks. I don't necessarily have to have on a jacket, definitely don't necessarily have to have a tie. Although it's in the book, but they kind of show leads to coaches and music teachers because we're a little more physical. But if I come in here today with pants sagging, you can see my boxers, and I had flip-flops on, and a baseball cap and a white beater, and I come here to talk to you about the music and professionalism, how would you view me?
I probably wouldn't take you as seriously.
Thank you. You wouldn't take me seriously. What about you?
I'm professional.
I'm professional. And it's rightfully so. It's all they would not even let me in the room like that, would it? Right? Okay. So, I say that to say, people judge you. They don't judge you. And the first thing they see, your first impression, is, they say, never get a second chance to make a good first impression. So you don't necessarily have to dress like this, but dress professional. Now, if we're casual, they may have on polo shirts and jeans. That's fine. We're not in business. You're not conducting business. But from my band, you're not gonna see the guys sitting around in blue jeans and tennis shoes and t-shirts and baseball caps sitting down on stage. We're gonna be coordinated. We're gonna have on, say we're all black. We're gonna have all white. We're gonna have on black and white. I may say single, you wear whatever outfit, gown you want. You're gonna pop up front because you're up front. We're gonna be in the back all black. We're not gonna be in jeans and sagging and flip-flops and sitting down. Because if somebody from corporate, one of their buyers, looking for someone to make for their gala or for their Christmas party, you ain't gonna ever see those bands getting those gigs. And that's those $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 gigs, not those $500 club gigs. You're not gonna see that band getting that because they don't see them ready to be in that area. So appearance, stage presence and demeanor. So you're on stage playing. What do we mean by stage presence? Let's make it easy. Y'all saw the movie Thunder Soul yesterday. Tell me something about the stage presence of the Cashmere stage band that you saw yesterday. Anybody? Jawad. Tell me one thing.
Well, just like you said, they was in uniform and they looked like they were ready to play.
Give me one. That's good. They all had on like tux, like black suit, white shirt, and tie, right? So they were dressed. They looked like a group, a team. They looked professional. Okay, so they were dressed. Their attire looked good. Alan, give me another one. What did you notice about the band when they showed all those clips? And when you heard those other band directors talking about them, what were they talking about?
And I'm sorry guys, just,
I would say like how they were like portraying themselves, like their how they were acting on stage.
How were they acting on stage?
Like they were well mannered and
Well, they were well mannered. Yeah, they were well mannered. But what were they doing on stage though?
they were
What did the guys was talking about that they never seen anybody do?
dancing all night.
Thank you. That's it. So they had choreography. They were in unison. They were tight with their choreography. Okay, so I think that's you know, the choreography was good. They were tight. They was well rehearsed, right? They were well rehearsed. The choreography was tight, and he remarked about how they able to do that and play. Well, I came up in the program. I laughed. I said, well, "This is what you do it," you know. But we had to learn that stuff. So yes.
But you know, Mr. Carmouche, I wanted to say, just on a personal note, that's how we were able, I'm sorry. Is it on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On a more personal note, that is the reason that we were invited back to Lincoln Center when the students went for Carnegie, because they were impressed, not also with their music, their performance, but they were also impressed with the way they were dressed. I mean, the heads turned to see the band walking across that street from the hotel to Carnegie in tux. And then when they were not in the tux, they were in uniform. These little teal shirts, these little teal polos. And because of that, we didn't have to do the audition for the next performance at Lincoln Center because of the way we presented ourselves the first time.
The
Which was
reputation
led by,
precedes itself.
Ms. Brown, yeah,
Yeah,
just
your
stuff.
reputation preceded
Yeah, exactly.
your presentation, yeah. And I experienced that when I was at Kenwood as well. Conrad had us when we went to Reno. The year after, they mentioned the 1977 trip to Reno in the movie. That was the spring of '77. I didn't get to catch it until the fall of '77. And I was looking forward to going to that Reno trip to defend that sweepstakes trophy. And one of the things Conrad did, we had the black tux. He said, but for the evening show, we knew we was going to the finals. He said, that's the mindset. We knew we was going to the finals. And they said, you heard one of the Cashmere guys say this, and I'm glad he said that. I don't know if I ever caught it. He said, those other bands were good. They really were good. They were tight. They sounded good. He said he just didn't have that soul. They didn't have those dynamics, the funk, that soul, and the choreography. Now, I will say when we were in contest after this era, that's why, you know, history is important, because this film talks about the choreography a lot, but we were in contest, we didn't do all the choreography. We just straight up played strong arrangements and strong solos. I don't remember any choreography in the contest tunes. We did it in shows, but in contest tunes, we didn't do that in contests. But as Ms. already said, you didn't have to go through that process next time because you already knew what you about, how you presented yourself. This is the kind of band we want. They're professional, they look good. And when you look good, you know, you want to rep. I tell my kids this, when we're getting ready for a show, I say, look, if you don't get it done in the classroom, you're not going to go on stage. You got to get it done here. You're not going to go on stage because you're not going to embarrass me. I'm not going to let you embarrass yourself. I don't want you to embarrass your family. You're not going to embarrass my school. In other words, if you're messing up in here, well, I'm going to put that baby on that stage and try to play in front of all them people. We're going to get it done here. We make the adjustments here, nip it in the bud here, and then we on stage, we ready. You see, that's how it was when I was in the stage band. You had to get it done here. There wasn't no chance on that stage. That's why that band was just so professional. And I don't want to keep harping on Cashmere and the stage band. Forrest Brook was just great, and HSPK had a great band. They had a very good band. I'm just speaking on that because it's documented. And that's what you see. And our founder, that's the school where that legacy was established. I don't want to just make it sound like this is a Cashmere thing. We're just talking about the whole concept of professionalism presentation, okay? So, next, okay, we got our repertoire. We've been practicing. We got a gig. We got a show worked out. We know we're going to be on stage. Now it's time to get to the place and perform. Very simple, y'all. Be on time. Start on time. Be on time. So, let me give you an example. I'm gonna pick on Jeremiah, because he's on his phone right now.
I'm not network complete.
I ain't asking what you was doing, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm picking on because I know you're long, because we went to Hawaii together. See? We went to Hawaii together. All right, Jeremiah, I hire you to be in my, I'm sorry, I'm hiring you.
Oh,
Let me get my bonus right. Not hiring you. I'm hiring you. I'll take that one.
okay.
I'm hiring you to be in my jazz band. And we're going to play a gala at the Hilton Americas downtown for the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. There's going to be over 1,000 people there. Okay? I'm paying you $250 to play this 1-hour show for me. And we've already rehearsed, but you know the stuff. The attire is formal. Okay? You know what that means?
Yep.
What does that mean to you?
That does nice, wear like a white shirt, like white dress shirt, and a suit, black suit jacket, black suit pants, and then black shoes. And then you have like a red, either red or black tie, depending on what you're looking for, but you typically go to red. And then you want to have, like, make sure your hair is like nice, and make sure your face is washed and your toothbrush, you use your hygiene stuff, and you gotta make sure your belt, make sure you have a belt, don't be going out there with no belt and all that. So you gotta have your pants look, and you gotta overall make sure you look nice, and make sure your shoes are like kind of shiny, not dirty. Also with your instrument, make sure your instrument is like polished, so it looks shiny on stage, so you won't look gross and look like dull. Because you want it to pop, you want people to see your instruments. So
Excellent. All right. He gonna be looking good. He gonna be looking good. All right, that was excellent. All right, you gave me way more. I was gonna say something about hygiene, but I didn't want to get into all that. With a towel, I was like, yeah, y'all need to take a shower and throw some deodorant. I didn't write that in my notes, but thank you for covering that, young man. I appreciate it. That was good. Now, Jeremiah, we're gonna have sound check at 4 p.m. The doors open at 5:30. We hit at 7. We don't start playing until 7. The doors open at 5:30, but we gonna have sound check at 4. So we have a sound check before the doors open. Now, this is what I'm saying. We have sound check at 4 p.m. Now, tell me what time will you arrive?
I need to be there at least at 3:30.
Boy, stop talking. Give me 5. That's all I need to know. He said at least by 3:30. Because what happens at the Hilton America downtown, what's the first thing you gotta do before you get in that building? What you gotta do? What you say? You gotta park. Then you have to unload. I said sound check at 4. That's not arrival time. Sound check at 4. Because I have engineers there and we're on a time frame. And sound check takes time. So you have set up the drums, they already set up all the PA. They got more stuff than Charlie got right now. Okay, so you got that, you nailed that, brother. Thank you.
So could let me say something on that? They just did a interview with Kyle. Was it last week or week before last week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that Kyle mentioned on air, that they were supposed to have been there at 4,
Mm-hmm.
and they are ready by what, 3:45?
Yeah.
And he was talking about the professionalism
Yeah.
of the students that were speaking that day, which, of course, it was Jeremiah and Jawad and Armani.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Charlie.
And Charlie, yes.
Yeah, they were on time. And one person was late. One person was late. Mm-hmm. That person couldn't get in the gate. But had he left maybe 10 or 15 minutes earlier, he might have gotten the gate and been in there at 4. But that person was gotten there at 4 or 5. I won't name who that person was, but he was late, technically. But I got to pay that stuff. I was stuck at the gate. I couldn't get in. But yes, they were on time. Okay, so professional. You're playing. You with me, Alan?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to sleep on it. You're not going to sleep on it. I'm going to call it. I'm going to sleep on it. I appreciate you being giving me good answers. This one, we talk about playing. Does everybody play an instrument? Even if you play in public, maybe you get paid, maybe you don't get paid. Is everybody a professional? That performs. Is everybody a professional? Anybody? What do you think?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily is correct. Okay, a professional musician is someone who earns their living through musical activities such as performing or teaching. Okay? There are some other careers, but we said a professional musician. I didn't say an engineer, you know. I didn't say an A&R person. We're talking about this person here. And this is usually where Mrs. Brown does it. She plays professionally, and she's an educator. This is what I've been doing for the past 17 years, full time. By that definition, then all that stuff I did performance art, I wasn't probably a professional musician, I was probably part-time. Because I was a cop, and I was still doing the things professionally, getting paid, but I wasn't making a living just on my music. Now, to be honest though, I do get a pension from the city. So, I don't rely on it, but that's my profession. For the past 17 years, has been a musician and a teacher. That's what I do full time. I earn a living by doing that, okay? All right, so that's what the definition, if you look up a professional musician, you may find it if you Google it. A professional musician is someone who earns their living through musical activities such as performing or teaching music. Not just that, but such as. I think we can identify with those two. All right. But if you're professional, and this course is, what do we call it? The music business and professionalism, right? So that's what we're talking about. So just because I'm a professional, do I act as a business too? Am I a business? Am I necessarily a business? What did you say earlier about the profession? You said not what? Not necessarily. What does it take to be a business? Now we're talking about something different. What does it take to be a business? Okay. A business is an entity that provides goods or services to customers in exchange for what? Money. In exchange for payment. An entity. That entity could be a corporation. It could be McDonald's. It could be Walmart. It could be Joe Carmouche and Friends. It could be Beyonce, LLC. You see what I'm saying? That provides goods or services. My service would be what? As a musician, my service would be my musical talent, performance, my performances, okay? In exchange for payment. Now, say you want to be a business. Now you have to set yourself up. So one of the first things you're going to do is choose a business name. It may be your name. I have a couple. One is Joe Carmouche Entertainment. I have a foundation called the Joe Carmouche Performing and Visual Arts Foundation. That's more like what we do for the community. You know, I'll eventually get to the point of doing scholarships and things like that, and providing a platform for musicians and artists to display their talent. When you come time to book me, that would probably fall under Joe Carmouche Entertainment. So I had to get what is called a DBA. The DBA means doing business as. Okay? Because I have to get paid. And they're going to pay me cash, maybe. They're going to pay me electronically, probably Zelle, Cash App, PayPal. Or in the old days, and a lot of times now, these corporations will cut me a check. Okay? They don't like cutting checks to John Doe. You're gonna cut those checks, and they like to cut it to a business entity. So there are several ways you can set up your business. You can be a sole proprietor. That means you're the only person over that business, okay? You're responsible for all debts, okay? The business failed, it's all on you. Okay, the business wins, you're the one who gets all the profit. You can have a partnership where you have other people involved. You can have an LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Company or Corporation. That means that you have some of the benefits of a corporation, but also some of the benefits kind of like a partnership, whereas everything's not in your name, it's in the business name. That's a nice one. What's another business? You ever identify any business here today? I can tell you 2 businesses today that's going on. Anybody know? That's going on right now. Physically, right now. Anybody? That's a business. It's a business. It's a 501c3, not for profit. But it's a business. It has a business structure. Did it cost to come to this camp? It sure did. Do they need to raise funds? They sure do, but it's not for profit. Okay? In other words, it's all about taking a check, going out and buying a new home to Rivos and driving out in Bentley with your money. The money, the corporation. And with 501c3, they're able to get grants and other things. But it's a non-profit. What else? Physically, where are we?
The bar and table.
What is that?
Yeah, it's a venue business.
It's a venue business. It's for profit? You better believe it's for profit. You feel that cold air? Yeah. You got the lights, you're going to use that restroom when you need to go. That water, that plumbing, the electrical, you better believe it's a business. Yes.
All these chandeliers can be paid for?
But you have small businesses, and then like for me, if I'm just saying, okay, I'm doing business at Joe Carmouche Entertainment, you're booking me, I'm a small business, just like a person that owns a barbershop, just like a man that does my lawn service, it's a small business. Okay? Just like my favorite soul food restaurant. My buddy Craig Joseph, he owns This Is It. That's his business, okay? But then we have larger corporations, of course, Coca-Cola, Amazon, Walmart, you know. That's big business, okay? But it's all business. And the thing I want to get to you is that just be about, when you say business, it's a difference. You take it to another level. So, you know, once you get your skill sets and you feel comfortable, you got experience, your name, you get your name out. And one of the things you're going to need to do, and we're going to wrap this, I think I need more time. But I'm going to run through this real quick. To get started, as a musician, you got cell phone. You got to have a cell phone. Everybody got a cell phone. Why do you need a cell phone? Maybe people call you, contact you, and say, hey, I got a gig for you. All right. Social media. You got to be on social media. Facebook, Instagram, what have you. LinkedIn. Maybe have a website. You're going to need a bank account. We talked about that. So you can accept payments. Dependable transportation. Union. May need to be in a union, may not need to be in a union. Some of the gigs are union gigs that you can't get into certain venues or play with certain people because they're a union gig. In a union, you go downtown, file with the local. And you pay a fee, and then they handle how the payments are made to you, guaranteeing your payments because you get it with a business associated with the union. Okay? They have certain rules, but it takes it in the right to work state. You don't have to be in the union. Okay? But that's another thing. We talked about composers. Composers, writers, music. What is this? Stand for. Who said that? Miss Audie.
What? I said it after you did.
You should know. That's a simple question. Okay, what does that mean? What if I put this? What if we see copyright 2025, that stands for Carmouche, Joe Carmouche. What does that mean? Sir?
Copyrighted by Joe Carmouche.
Yeah, okay. Now, how do I do that? How do we do that? Well, they say, oh, you fill out a form and you send a copy of your recording to the Copyright Office in the Library of Congress in D.C. But if you just put notice out, that's fine enough. You put notice out, put it on your printed materials, put it on your videos, and that way, you saw that movie yesterday? What was at the bottom? That tag at the bottom of the movie. What was under there? Y'all, come on now. That was on the whole time under there, right? That was notice. This is our material. This belongs to us. You can't go show the movies and charge people. Copyrighted material, okay?
And also, that's from like, if we were supposed like to give it out to someone, or if someone was to get a copy of it, they would know exactly where it came from, you know?
Exactly. 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 All right.
Can I add something
Yeah.
really quick? And also, you can copyright just about anything. When I was teaching, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, grab a mic. Yeah, you can copyright just about anything. I say anything that you create visually that has come from your creative own mindset. Make sure that you get it copyrighted. Like personally now, I copyright everything under my LLC, Empowered Next Academy. So everything I did from the classroom, from making calendars to making worksheets to making tests, quizzes that I created myself, I have copyrighted them, and I'm also getting ready to. If you collect them long enough, you'll get to the point where you can release a book, which is what I'm getting ready to do, release a workbook. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, any of your printed materials, you know, like you said, your lessons, copyright, but somebody take your stuff and you just write it out there, and you don't spend all that time writing, like just writing this stuff really, whatever that was, and I take it, and I said, oh, this sounds good. I put it in my book. You can't say nothing, I'm a copyright. I did this, I was doing it, he stole it from me. Well, where did you have it? What format did you have it in? Did you have it in a book? Did you have it online? Is it on your website? Where, you show me something. And a lot of people get stuff stolen, so that's the excellent part of that. And then how do we get paid? Well, okay, we will talk about that, we got time. PRO, that stands for, not pro, but this is acronym, Performance Rights Organization. How many of y'all have heard of ASCAP? Big, old for Broadway and stage, American Society of Composers and Publishers, Authors and Publishers. BMI, now this one right here is where all our R&B, jazz, blues, gospel, broadcast music incorporated. And then there's another one called CSAC. That's a European for stage authors and composers. Forgot what its first letter S is for. Let me see, I'm looking up. I forgot. Oh yeah, Society of European. CSAC. I don't really have to deal with them, but guess what? When I had the club, Legends Jazz Cafe, I had to pay all three of them. Why? Who knows why I had to pay all three of them? I don't have anything to do with CSAC. I ain't got no songs with CSAC library. I ain't got nothing else. Some of my stuff is in BMI. I use them as my publishing right. And I can say, well, we're not using none of your music. All my musicians are playing original material. Yeah, right. Do you have house music playing? Ah. Yeah, in my club we have house music playing. We're playing all the hits. You have bands playing? Yeah, they're playing cover tunes. Even if you say you don't have CSAC, guess what? They came to me and I talked and I said, ain't nobody got nothing from CSAC. Ain't nobody got nothing from CSAC. Ain't nobody got nothing from CSAC. I said, bro, you got paid. And it costs. And guess how they formulate the payment? They look at your venue size, they look at how many days you're open, they look to see if you have a DJ, they see if you have a dance floor, how many days you have live music. They put all that into a formula and calculate what you have to pay them. And y'all remember my venue was small, about the size of this room. I said I had to kick out every year those fees. Because if you don't, that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to shut you down. They put a lien on it. They got to pay rent, they have to pay TABC, Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, for the alcohol. And it is, don't make no mistake about it, y'all, like music and go to concert, alcohol is a big seller. That's what a lot of it's about. That's why I said you got to be careful when you're out there on the road and from stages to not get any bad habits of alcohol and drugs, because we have lost too many musicians. And some of them have died. A lot of them I know have died from drug use. They caught up with them, okay?
Young, not even older musicians. A lot of times we think older, but young.
And if they did get older, it just caught up with them. I know too many. I lost too many too recently. Good friends. So be careful of that. Look, I don't have much time. I had something I wanted to do. I covered everything I wanted on here. How many of you ever seen a contract? A big performance contract. You seen a contract? Real quick, Audie, what time is lunch?
Whenever we decide.
Okay, typically 12.
That's the advantage of having your own business.
Okay, let me show you something real quick. Oh, we're gonna pass this around, and Miss Audie, you and Charlie are not eligible. Jeremiah, you're not either. I've been knowing you too long. But I'm gonna give you a few seconds and then pass it on. See if y'all see at least one person you know in there, in this picture. Just one person. I'm see if you see. And pass it on. See if you see anybody you know. I didn't think so. You see anybody you know in that picture? I didn't think so. Doctor, I'm gonna let you be in on it. Don't, if you see, don't shout out. If you do you see anybody you know in this picture? Doctor, you're eligible. You're too smart. You already know what the answer will be. Don't say nothing. That's a young man right there, too. Man, that's a, but he's on point with Gerard. You see anybody that you know? Probably not. You know? I'm afraid I'm not going to give it to you. So I'm not going to give it to you. I didn't give it to you neither. Jeremiah, I'm going to give it to you. You see anybody that you know real quick? See, first of all, it's kind of, you take it too long. You see anybody?
There you go.
Right over there, well, which one? Which one? Dang long, dang brown. What? Which one? Are you all over the place? Damn, took you long. I should have given it to you. After a while, it should have been kind of like, wait a minute, he's saying you see anybody you know. You know, he play guitar. That's me right there. I'm 17 on that picture. This is, I think that's the summer we did that tour with Forrest Brook, Mr. Brown. We went on a 2-week tour. We went to Atlanta, D.C., New York, Chicago. We stayed at Duke University about a week. And, yeah. Real quick. I'm going to do a real quick.
And Joe, we're waiting for Martin to come down. He hasn't brought the lunch down anyway. So.
Thank you. Okay, real quick. I hear you, Ms. Hardy. This is real quick. This is going to take a little time. I want you to look at this contract, and I want you to look at this contract. That was 3 pages. Look at it real quick. What I want you to look for is details. And I don't mind this. Those are my contracts, and there are some things in there that may pop out to you. But I'm just going to give it to these two to save time. I want y'all to switch out, and I want you to look at that contract. Yours is 1 page. Yours is 3 pages. Already we know a big difference, right? So you can see where I'm going with this, right? Where I'm going with this? One is 3 pages, one is 1 page. So already we know what? The one with 3 pages has more details. I gave you a good answer. That's one of the answers. I want you to pay attention to the figures. I want you to pay attention to the information in it. Doc, I'll give it to you, but you're gonna nail it. So I'm not gonna give it to you right now, but you're welcome to see it when we finish, but I want our students to do this one.
Yes.
Jawad should see this as well. Jeremiah, you too.
And my friends are like 4 pages.
Yeah, I can see that, because this one really should have been those 3 plus at least 1, maybe 2 with a stage plot, which was a separate attachment, and a rider, which is a separate attachment.
Yeah.
So the rider is not in here.
My rider makes it 4 pages.
Exactly, and it should be in there. It should be, but it's not part of the regular contract stuff. This is your extra stuff, like you want all blue M&Ms in your dressing room.
Yeah.
And period water, and vegan, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, 4.
Okay, let's switch. Let's switch. Now, you got this one, and you got this one. Okay? Now, we're gonna take a few minutes. This gonna be it, Ms. Hardy.
Oh, no, I'll be right back.
Okay? I think we covered everything good here. But we gotta do that.
My friends out of country. Is that the word?
Yeah, I didn't even get into that. We typically, you're gonna have a contract before the gig and a deposit to go with it. And I'll just let you know this, my deposit, what I try to do with that deposit, people say, oh, is it half or whatever? It is whatever I need to satisfy my people for that night if they don't pay me. If it cancels, or they get shaky or janky with me, if they check bounce or they don't pay the person out there, what you gave me in a deposit probably covered everything I needed anyway. So if I'm at a loss, I'm not at a complete loss. You see, usually, but I'm gonna be at a loss because normally that's gonna be the money that, I ain't gonna lie to you, that's gonna be the money I'm getting. Because the first part is just covering them, but my deposit gonna cover it, everybody gonna get something. Even if that's just $100, $125, $150, everybody gonna get paid something. But if I had to pay a sound man, you see, that's gonna be a little different. Okay, you're good? You need to look at anything else you see? Okay, you can hold on to what you have. Hold on to what you have. All right. Ali, what's the difference, the first difference you know between those 2 documents?
One is short.
One is short. Yeah. Did the one that was short, did it have some basic stuff that you, was it lacking a lot?
I think it had basic stuff.
Had basic stuff? So what's the basic stuff we need to know we have a contract? First thing we need to know the date, right? Are we available that date? We need to know the date. We need to know the place. Because you book a gig, you think it's playing at the club or somebody's house, they got you playing at the Hilton in front of 1,000 people. That's a difference. It's a difference in the way you approach it and how much you charge. Date, location, time. What time does that event start? How long do they want you to play? Okay? Did they have any requirements about the music that they want? Okay, so that short one still had that basic stuff in there. Date, time, place, and date, time, place. Oh, amount. Yeah, there we go. The both of them are going to have amount in there. Now, what do you notice in the amount? Well, first of all, what about the years? What year who has a 3-year contract? You got the 3-year? What year is that?
This is February 19, 2000.
So that's this year, 2025. What year is yours from?
July 2016.
2016. So you got one contract from quite a while ago, and another contract from 2025. What do you notice? And this has a lot to do with me. What do you notice between this contract in 2016, was that the long one? That was the short one. Okay? The contract in 2025 was more detailed stuff, right? Contract in 2016, which one? Was that the one that was a higher payment? In 2016? Was it higher, or was the one in 2025 higher? Mm-hmm. That one with 3 pages. Remember, we did one in 2016 and one in 2025. What happens to us as students and people in a period of 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? What do? Do we grow? Do we learn?
Grow, get better.
Okay, what do you think I did? Why is that one 1 page and that one 3 pages? Because I grew, I learned. I needed more detail. Also, my value increased. That one in 2016 is about what, $1,500 maybe?
600.
Huh?
600.
No, it's not 600, bro. Look at that again. I get you. If you thought 600, that's the deposit probably. Was it 13 or 16? Look at
13.
13, okay. The other one was how much? Find the amount for that one.
5,000.
5,000. You see the difference?
Yeah, it is.
Now, let me show you another difference. How long was I paying for that 1,300? What was the time duration on that?
30 days.
No. How long was I playing for the show? How long was I playing? An hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours? How long was I playing? How long was that contract? There's a time on that.
4 to 8 to 11.
3 hours. Okay, how long am I playing on this one here that's $5,000?
There are 2 dates.
Give me one. Give me both of them. How long am I playing on that first day? Was it April 26th or something?
Yeah, April 26th.
Okay, how long was I playing?
Playing for 90 minutes.
Okay.
Which is from 5.
That's one day. I'm playing for how long?
90 minutes.
And on this day you got me, I'm playing for how long?
3 hours.
3 hours. So what happened over that time? Who got smarter? I got smarter. Who got more details? There's other stuff in there. They got a hotel for me, the shuttle to take me, and I made $5,000 for 90 minutes, and here I made $1,300 for 3 hours. What is that? Because what we're talking about, professionalism, being on time, reputation preceding you, like she said, Ms. Artie said, they saw how we were dressed, and we didn't have to go through the next day. I built up, plus I learned about what my value increased. I learned what the market will bear, and also some of the people were ready to pay that. So what happens is, I would come up from modest, almost not quite poor, but inner city. So $100 made a lot to me when I was 18 years old. And so maybe my parents made $30,000 a year. So when you think along that, you think in hundreds, then you're okay. But then later on, you have to start thinking in thousands. Then you start thinking in tens of thousands. And big business, they're thinking in millions. So you have to think along those lines and know what the market will bear. So for your services, at some time you might play, they might want you to play for free. You might play for free a couple of times. Is the exposure, who you playing in front of, or the connections. Are you established? No, you're probably not established, but I have my business card. This is going to be on TV. Hey, you might be playing for free at the halftime at the rodeo, at the Super Bowl. I take that gig, because now you can put a resume, you play at the Super Bowl, you probably didn't get paid, or you might have got paid a little something, but now you're going to play for the Super Bowl. Now you play for the president's inauguration. President, they ain't going to pay you, cut you no check. It's an honor to just be there, but now you got that on your resume and you got the exposure. So the difference, you're talking about, I just brought those two because of the variance in time, and amount, and all of that stuff. There's things that I learned that allowed me to be to that level. Yes, sir.
So the more stuff you have on your resume, like the more you perform, and like people you know, the more your goes up. Like,
Well, name recognition and who you're associated with. It's what you know, who you know, and your name recognition.
okay, then you said earlier though, like your worth and how it went up from that date to this date. How does that work?
Well, experience. Again, I think I've improved as a band. My name was more recognizable. I have a history with this other place. After playing with them several years, then my prices went up. They liked what I was doing, so they called me the next year to come to San Antonio and do that festival. Knowing what the market will bear, and just seeing what after you be around and hearing what other bands are playing. Also, sometimes you may have an agent, and they get a call for a band to play for a big company. You wouldn't know anything about this gig. It's a big company, they're bringing in big names. You can't come to them with no $2,000, $3,000 contract, because they used to playing $10,000 and $20,000 to a band coming out of Dallas. So the agent knows that, you see? And once you know that, you get that inside information, then that's the way you start to structure your deals. Because you understand, oh, because if I paid you, I said I'm gonna pay you $200 on New Year's Eve. Yeah, have you ever been paid $200 to play your saxophone anywhere? Okay, that may seem like pretty good money, fair, right? But the gig is paying $10,000. And I just got 4 members to pay. I paid out $800 and I'm walking away with $9,200. You see? But that happens. But you didn't complain because as a young musician, you got $200 and that seemed like a lot to you. But really, I should have been paying you $750. You see? All right. We good? Any questions? Y'all got my number there. The best way to reach me is to text me first. Don't call me. You can text me and I'll reach back out to you. Everybody else, y'all know how to reach me. Any other questions?
No, I didn't have a question.
Yes,
I was
sir.
gonna make a comment about me. It's me. I'm talking.
okay.
I was gonna make a comment about sometimes your gift will make room for you, and not necessarily the money you'll receive from using your gift. And I only say this because when I was in undergrad in like 2018, I got asked to go do a studio recording for an artist, and he was like, I don't know if it's gonna be paid, but hey, just go and see.
Right.
I went to the recording, and it was for NDIRE. NDIRE was doing a recording for her album Worthy. And me and I was a 5th Jubilee singer, we had just did a performance with her. And so she was like, oh, yeah, have y'all in. We didn't get paid for the initial recording. But still today I receive royalties from singing background on that album, that Worthy album. So although we didn't initially get paid for that album, she came back around and made sure that we were paid and still being paid. That's why all 3 of those organizations, ASCAP, BMI, and the CSAC, I'm a member of all 3 of those organizations, and I'm a songwriter as well. So sometimes it may not be paying what you think it's gonna pay, but if your heart leads you there, yes, but sometimes you do have to stand on your worth and let people know, like, hey, ever since I did that Worthy album, my fee as a background singer is skyrocketed. It's not like too high to where I won't waver, depending on what the project is. Like if the project is religious based, it's a community event, I feel like my heart is led to it, then yes. But if I know for a fact you're about to make $200,000 off of a performance or an event that I'm going to be performing in, I will be paid that value as well. So sometimes you just have to hold on and stand on that, stand on how you feel as a musician, especially since being a musician is not my full-time job. This is already like extracurricular for me. So if I'm gonna step outside of the classroom or step outside of my norm, I will be paid for that. And sometimes you have to stand on it. Sometimes you waver. Even with my friends know, hey, if you can't afford me, don't call me. We still friends. I love you to death. Like we can go have lunch, kick it, cool, cook dinner. But for performance, when it comes to this contract, if you can't sign it and pay me, don't call me.
They understand your requirements. That's exactly right. Yeah, I played for free a few times, but it did give me as far as younger. But the thing about it is we don't want to get taken advantage of. People take advantage because you're young. And so you play, they students ain't gonna play for free. Well, if you're in school and you're gonna be doing some stuff for free. But after that, when you have your own little band, you gotta get there, you gotta maintain your equipment, you have gas. And if people will take advantage of it. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. It's a little something to have lunch. I mean, y'all doing good. Thank you for coming here. And thank you for your input, Doc. Big stuff around the ball.